okay. How are you, Kazim?
Yeah, fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good too. How was England? Happy life
Yeah,
there?
fine. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
England is there.
You
Present.
you look more mature now.
Mashallah. Terima kasih.
Ah, someone learn
Is
bahasa Indonesia. Terima kasih.
yeah,
Kembali.
I wanted to say is terima kasih. Thank you. Same with Bahasa Indonesia. Sama?
Yeah. That's right.
Sama. Oh.
Okay.
Same with selamat pagi, selamat selamat petang.
Selamat pagi,
Is
selamat siang. Kalau sekarang, right now we say
yeah.
selamat sore. So 1 minute before we start, no, we just have
Okay.
free chat, I think, or maybe other participant want to just say hi. It's okay. You can say hi to Mr. Kazim.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
You can. Everyone can say anything. But when we start, please turn off your microphone. But for the video, it's okay.
All right. Yes, ma.
Okay. So already 5. Yeah, I know Malaysia is 6 already. How about there? 10, right? In the morning,
Yeah,
right?
it's morning, 10 a.m.
10
UK
p.m.
time.
Okay. Okay, let's not wait for other participants. I think they will come later because the admin and committee member will add them directly. Okay. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I would like to say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all my Muslim sister and brother in Indonesia and around the world, because I saw some participants from abroad. I would like to say sorry for this time because we arranged very different schedule. As I mentioned before, our speaker were based in England, so we have very different time zone. So we need to fit him, his time actually. And we was talked many times, right, about the time, and he really tried to join earlier, but it's really hard. So I think it's okay. And what I see that the loyal, participants still there and very excited to meet our speaker, and then to know more about our today topic. Okay, let me introduce our honor speaker. He is Mr. Kazim Abidun Akinwande. He's from Nigeria. He is a certified librarian for Nigeria, even though he based in England. He was study Master Library Information Science in Malaysia at International Islamic University Malaysia, and he has so many work experience. So I will just introduce his background. Maybe later, if you have more question, you can ask him directly. As I told you, we hold very different discussion because we don't want like this is look very formal. So feel free to talk or to share, or if you even shy to ask directly, you can type, or maybe you can ask later on the group. We will pass to him, so don't worry too much. Okay, he is a freelance teacher. And then also intern at the Library International Islamic University Malaysia. He was a research laboratory manager at Semantic Body of Knowledge and Technology Research Unit at International Islamic University Malaysia. And also he was, working as Information and Communication Technology Librarian at Ondo State Library Board, Akure National Youth Service Corps. And then he has experience as intern in Kenneth Dyke Library at University of Ibadan, Nigeria. Wow. And then he also one of subject teacher at primary division in Paragon International Group of School, Abu Konde, Ogun State. I'm really sorry if the way I spell wrong. Okay, Mr. Kazim.
No, it's fine, it's
Yeah,
fine.
because
Tidak
it's
masalah,
just
tidak
sometimes very
masalah.
different pronunciation. Okay, professional qualification. He was certified librarian of Nigeria. Member of Society in Information Retrieval and Knowledge Management in Malaysia, and member Teacher Registration Council of Nigeria, and member Nigerian Library Association, and NIIT Ibadan, professional certificate in management information system skill. As mentioned before, like he got so many experience related to library information science. That's why today he will share with us his thought about the importance of publishing as librarian, right? Okay, I don't want to take that much time by introducing you. Maybe later we can have a deep talk after presentation, and participant can participant can ask more about what they want to know about you. Even the topic is a bit general this time. I think this is really good, because he is very international person, study in Malaysia, certified librarian in Nigeria. Now he's working in England and based in England. So please, I give the place to you, the stage to you. You can start your presentation, Mr. Kazim.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any problem by sharing PPT, Mr. Kazim? Oh, I think we need to wait. He's sharing his PPT. Okay. On progress. Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
Okay. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. You can go ahead.
I need to be sure you can see my slide. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
All
Very
right.
clear.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome.
Selamat pagi semua.
Selamat sore actually here, but it's okay. I understand because in England it's selamat pagi. It's okay.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Good morning, everyone. Like Kak Sikra, I need to be sure it's Kak, like these are the same in Kak, the same in Bahasa Melayu and Bahasa Indonesia.
Yeah, Kak. Yeah. I mean, like for older sister.
Okay.
Okay. It's okay. Okay.
All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning from here, everyone. And I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to deliver this keynote. I count it as a privilege. I was contacted shortly by Dr. Zikrianti, but I was like, I don't have to reject the request because it's an urgent request. And we were trying to sort out the time, and in between we could have planned to have the event period to this time, but alhamdulillah, at the end of the day, we had to work out the time and we ended up having it by this time. And then I would like to say I tender my apology for any inconvenience in that regard. It's just because of the present timing here in the UK. So I was contacted to deliver a keynote speech, or let's say a talk, or let's say a pep talk on the importance of publishing as a librarian. Zikra said earlier, or just like Dr. Zikra said earlier, the topic is a general topic, and it is not only applicable to librarian, but also to some other aspects of profession or some other fields. So in that regard, I want to start with this picture down here. I got it from a library the picture of a library in my council. And before I proceed, I would just want to share that advancement in any field can only be achieved when participants distribute their ideas and experiences. Lamont 2012. So before I proceed into the lecture or into the business of the day, my name is Kazim Abiodun Akinwande, and just like Dr. Zikra has said, I hold a master's degree in Library and Information Science with distinction from International Islamic University, Malaysia. I had my bachelor's degree in Library and Information Science from University of Ibadan, where I graduated with second class upper division, and I also the Nigerian Certificate in Education in English language and Yoruba language. The Yoruba language is just more or less like my tribal language, or should I say my mother's tongue, or should I say let me just put it there, just like Bahasa Indonesian. It's just like the Yoruba language too. And aside that, I have some other research. I have few researches that I've published. I didn't list them all. I just have to list some and then drop some others. But I have some few researches that I've published along with some publications too, which amongst the challenges and prospects of using metrics to measure research outputs. That's my MLI dissertation supervised by Professor Dr. Roslina Otman of the Department of Library and Information Science, International Islamic University, Malaysia. I have a few other ones too, which is information ethics, Islamic perspective on privacy and hacking, development of most library in Nigeria, the Southwest perspectives, national reorientation for moral rejuvenation, the panacea for eradicating corrupt practices amongst Nigerian youth, information and communication technology issues in Nigerian education, and enhancing the promotion and advancement of tertiary education through alumni association in Nigeria, among some others. Just not to bore us with long talk, I just have to list few of them. So before we are proceeding to the talk gradually. So why research is a lot like this? Because whatever you publish is directly or indirectly a product of research. Because when we mean research is like providing solution to an unknown, or it's like an activity conducted to address an existing phenomenon. So it's more or less like something carried out to provide solution to a problem that is existing. Or a problem. It takes time to mature, and why is it best consumed in small slices is like why is it best consumed in graduate most countries that spend on research and development on R&D, top 10 countries that spend more on research and development. Are you with me?
Yes, yes.
Dr.
We are with you, but sometimes you lost your voice. I mean, like we can't hear your voice sometimes. It's like stuck there.
so can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah. No, no, it's okay.
All right, that's fine. So top 10 countries that funds research and development the most, and that's just a preview on my slide, or a comparison of 2020 and 2021 forecast. And top 10 of them as listed is China, US, Japan, Germany, India, South Korea, France, Russia, United Kingdom, and Brazil. So now we are going into the business of the day. Why do we publish? Why do we publish? Do anyone have an idea, if I may ask? I think Dr. Zigrayanti can just allow the participants to open their mic in case anyone wants to answer the question. Why do we publish?
Ya, maybe anyone want to answer? Jadi beliau nanya nih, kira-kira kenapa kita perlu publish tulisan seperti itu ya, mau jurnal, mau buku. Sri, maybe?
Three, you can just select anyone to answer the question if anyone wants to answer it.
Oke. Siapa kira-kira beliau nanya nih, kenapa kira-kira kita perlu publish ya, lebih librarian. Kenapa kita perlu nulis, kita perlu publikasi kira-kira aja. Gitu. Ada? Ada? I think you must go ahead. Seems like more.
All right.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
bad signal. Many people, some people say in the chat room they have problem with signal. Maybe you can just go directly to presentation, and later if they have question, they will ask Mr. Kazim due to some technical problem. Okay.
That's fine. So why do we publish? Publishing is one of the steps in knowledge management carried out to share our views, thoughts, and ideas with members of the public. Because if we have information about something and we don't put it out, we are only keeping it to ourselves, and hence the publishing. Because by the moment you begin to publish your idea or your research or your knowledge, it becomes available to members of the public. It also depends on how you share it. Some research are published but are classified, that is, they are internal, while others are published and outside or can be distributed. But whatever the case, anything published is already in the open, so it can be accessed whether internally or externally. So why should we publish as a librarian, if I may ask? Part of what I listed is that we have to publish for knowledge codification. When I mean knowledge codification, it means we have to document our knowledge, and that's one of the reasons we have to publish as a librarian, because if we have a knowledge and we decide not to document that knowledge, by the time we leave that organization or our place of work as a librarian in this case, or by the time maybe we pass Walahala, we just go away with the knowledge. If we leave the organization, we'll be living with the knowledge, and whatever it is, once the knowledge has been codified, then it has already been documented. So what do I mean by knowledge codification? We have from tacit to explicit. When I mean tacit to explicit now, it means if Dr. Zikrayanti, in this case, decide to publish his experience as a library and information science student, or let me say our international experience as a library and information science student, then by the time she begins to write her experiences down and eventually publish them, it has become tacit to explicit. Tacit means something that we have in ourselves that we have not given out, or that we have not published out, or that we have not taken out. But by the time we begin to write them out or possibly publish them, it has become an explicit knowledge because it has been documented. Knowledge codification can also come in form of explicit to explicit. In this case, it means from what has been published to another published product, or from what has been documented to another documented product. So what am I trying to say in this case is when we want to publish a paper as a librarian, obviously we are going to read articles. So if we are going to read articles, then the articles we are reading is a form of an explicit knowledge that has been documented. And definitely we are going to use one or two quotations from the articles in our own write-ups. And by the time we publish our own write-ups, it's another forms of explicit. So in this case, it is saying from the paper that we are taking it from to our own that we are publishing is called explicit to explicit. Another reason why we also have to publish is knowledge sharing and promotion. We have to share our knowledge, and we have to promote our knowledge and also that of our organization or to wherever we belong. So that is another reason why we have to publish. And one good reason why we also have to publish is career promotion, especially academic librarian. If you're an academic librarian, like a librarian that works in a university library, obviously there is no way you wouldn't have to publish. So if you are working in a university library, or you are a lecturer, you lecture as a librarian, then definitely you have to publish. And that goes in line with the popular saying that librarians can be faced with greater pressure to publish as a result of the scholastic nature of their work environment. And that goes in line with publish or perish. I'm not sure we are familiar with that statement. It's a popular statement, like publish or perish, because if you don't publish, especially as an academic librarian, whether you lecture as a librarian or you work in the university library, you are directly or indirectly going into extinction. When I mean extinction, like directly or indirectly going into hibernation, like going out of the academic space. You are gradually putting yourself behind. And that is the reason why you also have to publish as a librarian. And one other good reason is to become an authority in the librarianship profession. Because when you hear people like Professor Dr. Roslina Otmon and some other professors that I know in the librarianship profession, so when you hear them, they didn't just get to the professorship cadre just like that, but it takes series of steps. And to the extent that if somebody like, fine, if we are talking about research, or let's say in academic or in science, one of the features is nothing is unquestionable. You can question anything as long as it's kind of generates a curiosity in you. So what am I trying to say is, in essence, to a large extent, if somebody like Professor Roslina Osman says something in librarianship like this is so and so is so, it will be extremely difficult for somebody like myself or somebody like Dr. Sikrayanti to say, Prof, what you are saying is not supposed to be. That is not possible because Professor Roslina Osman is an authority in librarianship. And if at all you want to question that, you have to come up with an evidence. And that is another reason why you have to conduct research as a librarian too, because when you conduct research, it will give you more knowledge to the extent that when you speak with information, you speak with objectivity, and you are factual in your expression to the extent that when you speak with evidence, and when you want to question, you question with evidence too. And one good other reason why we have to publish is because we have to market library information products and services, because the general perception of the public is that library is just definitely about book, 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 and book. When you say you are a librarian, they will say, oh, those people that deal with book. But what they do not know is it goes beyond book. There are so many other products in library that has to be marketed. And one of the good ways of marketing that is by publishing, because when you are publishing various topics in librarianship, if is another way of promoting what you have in the library, of marketing library, because people want to visit library these days, but librarian will bring you the right information, and that's why uh, it, it is essential that as a librarian publish in that Scopus. Why do you have to publish in Scopus, or why do you have to publish in some other journals like that, or in some other database? Often in most cases, students of research or students of library science, whether at master's level or at a bachelor's level or at doctoral level, we often in most cases tell you, I just have to do it because it is part of the requirement for me to graduate, or it is part of the requirement, or because my lecturer asked me to. So often in most cases that is also the case, but this is just on a lighter note. The very good aspect of it is if you can endure and manage to go through the sieving process. When I mean the sieving, I mean like looking at one or two papers and trying to determine which is appropriate for the topic you want to publish on, and just try as much as possible to come up with something and publish it. Directly or indirectly, you're also becoming an international professional, or you're also becoming an authority in your area, because before by the time you are submitting the paper, before it is published, obviously the paper will be reviewed, and we have various stages of reviewer, which can either be peer review or referee or single blinded peer review, single blinded review, or double blinded review, and the single blinded review or double blinded review, and some other types of review. But the essential aspect of it is you have to publish as a librarian, not necessarily because your lecturer asks you to, or because your university asks you to, or because your university your place of work asks you to, but because you have to promote yourself as not only librarian, but you also have to share your knowledge, because the essence of something you know is by sharing it. The best way to learn the subject is by teaching the subject. So what can we publish? Some of the things that we can publish is original articles, new results, findings or method, or manuscripts that advance knowledge and understanding in a scientific field, or scholarly books, or book chapters, or conference papers. We can also publish a magazine article and some other one like that. So what should we not publish? Does not so we should take into consideration that because we just want to publish by all means or by we want to publish by fire by force. Should not just say we should now just go and bring something interest. When I mean of no scientific interest, like something that does not contribute to us called plagiarism. So we should endeavor to guide against duplication of previously published work. Hello? Hello? Are you still with me?
Yeah, we are with
All right.
you,
Oh,
but
that's
we
fine.
have trouble with signal. So it's okay. You can going on. I don't know. Is it our signal or your signal?
So it's fine, position.
Yeah, this
So
one better. This
what?
one okay. Right now it's okay. Mr. Kazim,
All
you
right.
still have 5 minutes more. Maybe you can continue.
Yeah. Factors that enhance publishing. One of the factors is writing with postgraduate students. For example, if someone among our participants want to publish, and since Dr. Zikranyanti is, let's say, doctor very soon, I just need to use doctor because at least she will definitely get the doctorate one day, inshallah. So one of the ways that we can also that we can make publishing easy or publish easily is if you work in a librarian, you can just contact somebody like Caxis Gayanti to write together. And it might also not only be Zikarayanti. If you know of some other people, Mrs. Zikarayanti, if you know of some other people in some other postgraduate students in Indonesia rather, you can also get in touch with them and be like, oh, I work in so library and I want to publish. Is there a way we can write together? And that's the same with research and writing, collegiality or joint publishing. Another way that we can also publish is by publishing with our colleagues, like myself and Dr. Rizganati can decide to come together and write a paper, or I can decide to be like, oh, Krishnanti, please, can you just recommend someone to me among our participants that we can publish together? That is another ways that we can publish easily. Another thing is mentor schemes. So that is supervisor to students or senior to junior colleagues and vice versa. In this case, a supervisor and junior colleague in a place centers or laboratories or groups that is an establishment if you and publish as a member of the lab. So another thing that enhances publishing is also research grants because some people want to publish but they cannot afford the publication fee. Or some people want to publish but they cannot afford the article processing fee and the likes like that. But if one could manage to secure a research grant, possibly that we have to the journal related to our, for instance, now if somebody wants to publish on the importance of publishing as a librarian, and the person now go and publish in Journal of Business and Communication Management. I'm not sure to consider on the fact that one might need some little bit of motivation. And often in most cases, if a journal is asking you to submit 20 pages before as part of the requirements for someone, that is another good thing to consider, like the length of manuscript. Another thing is, what is the review process? When I mean review process, I've said that earlier, like is it referee journal, or is it peer-to-peer review, or is it single-blinded review, or double-blinded review? And another thing is, that could also be discussed, but because we're against time, I would not want to go into detail of that now. And another criteria to consider is, what is the speed of publication? Because some journal, when you submit your paper to them this month, which is November, some might take like June or July before they publish, which might not go with the time that you need the paper for, especially if you're an academic librarian. If you need paper for promotion, and your promotion is due, let's say, by March, and one of the paper that you need to publish is that paper you want to publish, and the paper is saying they will only publish it by July, that will be a little bit late. And that is the reason why you have to also consider the speed of publication of the journal that you are submitting to. Another thing is article processing fee. Some journal charge article processing fee that will be too exorbitant. When I mean exorbitant, that will be too high for let's say students to afford, because I actually experienced it as a student during my master's program. Some journals charge high article processing fee, while some will not charge at all, and while some will charge something moderate. So you want to consider one's pocket. If you're on a research grant, makes it easier. But if one is not on research grant, then if you're publishing from your pocket, then you also have to consider the article processing fee. Another thing is, what is the reputation of the journal? Because we have so many predatory journals out there. So let me put it that way. When I mean predatory journals, some people could just get your mail somewhere and just send you a mail that we are invited to come and publish so journal. And whereas the journal is more or less like a shambolic journal. So you should also consider the reputation of the journal if you want to publish. Another thing is the journal open access or closed access? That is another thing. And another one is the impact factor of the journal. So when I mean the impact factor, like what is the average number of citations? I think we are going in depth now, but the impact factor is what is the average number of citations to recent articles published in that journal as at that period. So another thing is, what is the audience of the journal? And that goes in line with the journal information too. If a journal is meant for people in, let's say if a journal is meant for people in economics now, and you as a librarian now go and publish in that journal, technically it is out of place. So instead, one could possibly look for journals in ICT, journals in information technology, journals in knowledge management, journals in research and development and the likes. So we should also consider the audience of the journal, like who are those people that are reading the articles in that journal, who are those that it is meant for before we publish in that journal too. Another thing is, okay, that's also applicable to if you want to publish a book chapter in books or magazines and others. So I just like we have discussed the criteria to publishing. So what are the barriers to publishing, if we may ask? So because I was thinking we could make it interactive.
Sorry, Mr. Kazim, I have to interrupt. You still have 2 more minutes, okay? Thank you.
All right, thank you. So what are the barriers to publishing? One of it is excessive workload. If you work in an organization that puts too much load on you, then you might really have time for you to say you want to publish. Another thing is lack of resources and also lack of research culture, lack of academic leadership. If you don't have somebody that motivates you in your place of work or your supervisor is also a barrier. Another thing is disconnection between writers and writing productivity and among the others reasons. So what are the practical tips for publishing if you want to publish? One is when you want to publish, write direct and short sentences. Let your writing be direct, let your sentences be direct and short. Another thing is the average length of a sentence of sentences in scientific studies is about 12 to 17 words. This is not directly my statement. I actually copied this particular sentence from one of a document with me. So when you want to publish, you want to ensure that the average length of sentence, although I agree with the statement too, because it's more or less like saying you should write in direct and short sentences. Another thing is you should avoid multiple statements in one sentence. Also, break your sentences into paragraphs as much as possible. And then use present tense for known fact and hypothesis. Something like when you mean present, use present tense for known fact, it's like saying we are having an academic meeting now, or we are having a webinar now. It is a known fact because it is happening. So, or when we say hypothesis, we could say it might possibly rain tomorrow. It's an hypothesis because it is a tentative statement. So when you want to write about that, you should use present tense. And if you want to like you should use past tense for experiments you have conducted. You're saying I have attended University of International Islamic University, Malaysia, or Dr. Zikrianti has published a paper. It's like something in the past. So if you want to write about that, you use past tense. And also past tense when you describe of an experiment. What are the grammar tools we have? We have Grammarly. These are some of the grammar tools that you can use when you are writing. You can use for grammar tools. And if you want to conduct plagiarism check, like after you have writing, you want to be sure that in the what you have written is in line, is in order or not. Also, you can use authenticate or you can use plot tracker. Those are plagiarism. Those are plagiarism tools that you can use to be sure that to check that what you have written is not the same with someone, is not the same with what someone have written in the past or not. So I think at this junction, I will want to stop here till some other time that Dr. Zginati or Allah till some other time that Allah brings us together. And at this stage, I will want to entertain questions and possibly contributions or observations. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kazim. I'm going to conclude a bit in Bahasa Indonesia since, like, I think during your presentation we get so many signal trouble, and I don't know is it like your side or our side, but I think we are happy because we can see like many information and PPT, and we also connected on your speech. Even sometimes we lose connectivity with you, but I think so far it is good. Jadi kalau kita lihat ya, saya hanya ingin menyimpulkan sedikit karena mengingat sepertinya banyak sekali gangguan sinyal yang terjadi yang kita juga kadang-kadang nggak tahu apakah dari site kita atau site beliau. Sebenarnya dari poin yang sudah dijelaskan hari ini itu ada beberapa poin penting kenapa sebagai librarian atau student di Library Information Science kita harus melakukan publishing karena itu adalah salah satu bentuk promosi ya secara praktikal ya, promosi tentang keilmuan kita ya, perpustakaan librarian kita juga itu salah satu ranah untuk mempromosikan service kita, produk-produk kita, kemudian layanan-layanan kita kepada masyarakat. Oleh karena itu tadi memang di-highlight bahwa publication itu penting ya, selain misalnya kalau yang udah librarian berstatus pegawai negeri sipil juga itu salah satu bentuk untuk mendukung misalnya angka kredit ya, terlepas dari hal-hal seperti itu ya. Itu tadi yang di-highlight, memang dalam publication itu, dalam mempublish itu kita juga banyak-banyak versi yang mungkin beberapa masalah seperti misalnya kemampuan menulis, kemudian pemilihan resource, habis itu kepentingan kita menulis, apakah kita benar-benar siap dan bisa menulis, dan tadi juga disarankan dalam menulis itu sebenarnya nggak mesti sendiri, bisa juga berkolaborasi, dan ketika menulis juga bukan hanya melulu ketika kita menulis itu target utama jurnal, karena banyak ya, misalnya bisa seperti book chapter atau artikel lepas ya, jurnal kalau jurnal itu memang sih lebih ke akademis. Memang tadi kurang lebih Mr. Kazim banyak menjelaskan mungkin dari sisi akademis, tapi pada dasarnya begitu kita sudah selesai dari sisi akademis, kita bekerja sebagai pustakawan pun menulis itu kan tetap dituntut ya, seperti yang disampaikan tadi untuk ranah promosi servis kita ya, itu tadi mungkin angka kredit, kemudian untuk mempromosikan bahwa keilmuan perpustakaan dan pekerjaan perpustakaan di perpustakaan dan sebagai pustakawan ini juga sangat penting untuk diketahui oleh masyarakat ya. Itu tadi gitu, mungkin kalau tidak secara akademis ya kita bisa menulis di majalah tadi kan, like magazine it was mentioned, atau ya di koran-koran online, tapi memang baiknya yang bisa diakses secara open source atau sudah bentuknya terdigitalisasi ya. Karena apa? Jadi semua orang bisa akses tulisan kita, semua orang bisa baca apapun bentuk publikasi yang kita gunakan ya, kurang lebih seperti itu yang bisa saya simpulkan. I'm sorry Mr. Kazim because I have to explain in bahasa.
No, it's no problem.
I already informed you, right?
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Now we move to questions session. If there is question, you can ask. So don't feel shy. You can ask in bahasa Indonesia. I will have to translate, but you also can type. If you feel more convenient to type on chat column. But since we're waiting for others, you get one question here, Mr. From Mr. Yuswadi SS. Yeah, he was asking how many published work as librarian you did, Mr. Kazim. Like maybe he is very curious because we have very different experience and background this way. Okay, Mr. Kazim?
Yeah, sure, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm just trying to attend to the, I just read the chat now, and I've responded to that. So I have got more than, let's say, 5 publications. Actually, I listed that on my slide, and here is it. So I have got more than, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and some other ones that I didn't list. So I've got more than 5, so or let's say more than 6. I just have to list a few for this particular layout.
Oke. Jadi Mr. Kazim itu sebenarnya dia banyak menulis sih. Saya tahu benar karena dia juga salah satu kalau di kampusnya kemarin itu dia dapat award cum laude ya. Kemudian student berprestasi karena memang dia banyak sekali menulis di jurnal ya, jurnal publication, dan dia berkolaborasi rata-rata dengan profesor ya. Mungkin itu tadi kan kelebihan beliau menulis bagus, kemudian Inggrisnya juga bagus karena in Nigeria English is your second language, right? Or
no, it's our official language.
Oh ya, oke. Jadi Nigeria itu bahasa Inggris itu official language. Jadi no surprise lah. I mean like Sure, writing in English also is, you need more talent, especially in English. But tapi kan kadang-kadang sebenarnya ya, kalau kayak belajar dari saya, sebenarnya saya belum dokter. Amin ya, semoga setelah tahun depan bisa menyandang gelar itu. Jadi kalau struggle dalam menulis itu, kalau menurut saya sih sebenarnya, kalau kita native, misalnya kita native Indonesia, bukan kayak mereka misalnya, bahasa Inggris itu sebenarnya bukan juga lagi jadi persoalan ya, karena begitu banyak translator yang udah certified, yang profesional di Indonesia. Dan kalau kita serius mau nulis, sebenarnya dari segi penerjemahan bisa dibantu. Kemudian banyak sekali peer reviewer like proofread yang bisa kita minta tolong untuk berbayar. Cuman sebenarnya kembali lagi, mau nggak kita nulis ya, itu sih sebenarnya. Dan saya sendiri merasakan bahwa nulis itu berat ya. Saya sendiri merasakan ya, nulis itu berat, tapi memang balik lagi ke kemauan gitu. Jadi ya kalau di luar mungkin itu tuntutannya. Saya juga ketemu dengan teman-teman di luar juga jadi librarian. When they're being librarian, they have to write. I don't really sure, is it like they have to because of the rule, or it's just like lifestyle. As librarian, you have to write. But I have met a lot of librarian from abroad, like they love to write and they feel that they have to. That's the different what I have been seeing. If we compare my country, I mean like our country and others, karena kalau udah librarian, kadang-kadang kita udah jarang nulis ya, tapi kalau kita masih kuliah itu pasti sering ya. Okay, here from Supriyatna. I'm Supriyatna, I'm academic librarian. I want to ask, how increase our skill writing? Can you explain tips and tricks, Mr. Kazem?
Yeah, sure. I covered that in the slide. And as an academic librarian, as an academic librarian, as somebody who is just beginning in publishing, one of the ways is, can you see my slide, please?
Yes,
All right. So one is, when we want to write, we should write direct and short sentences. So we should avoid compound sentences. So we should write direct and short sentences, and then we should endeavor to be sure that the average length of sentence, the average length of words in our sentence is between 12 to 17 words. Like when we want to come with a sentence, the number of words in that sentence should be between 12 to 17, and then we should avoid multiple statements in one sentence, and then break our sentences into paragraphs as much as possible, and we should endeavor to use present tense for known facts and hypotheses. So when I mean known fact and hypothesis, we should use present tense for what is certain, what we are very sure about, or what we feel is could possibly be possible. And also we should use past tense for experiments you have conducted, like something that you have done. Like when you are analyzing your data, you could use past tense because it's an experiment that you have conducted and you have been sure of the results. So we could use past tense for that. And then we should use past tense when you describe the result, just like I've said. We should use past tense when you describe the results of an experiment. And possibly, if we are still in doubt of our writing, when we finish writing, we can send it to an English expert to proofread our manuscript for us. So we can send it to somebody whom we believe that is a professional in English language to proofread our manuscript before we submit to a journal. Thank you.
Oke, mungkin saya hanya ingin menyimpulkan sedikit. Jadi memang yang paling dibutuhkan itu kita lihat ya. Kalau nulis, kalau yang memang tadi jawabannya lebih ke jurnal ya, publication. Memang rata-rata tuh diminta tuh untuk satu kalimat itu memang nggak boleh terlalu panjang. Jadi kita direct ya. Jadi kalau kita mau bilang sesuatu tuh jangan berputar-putar. Jadi kalau nulis tuh ya langsung. Jadi gunakan kalimat yang pendek atau singkat, yang biasanya tuh kurang lebih 12 sampai 17 kata. Ya kalau kita lihat jurnal sih memang seperti itu ya, karena kan dia based on reference ya. Dan kebanyakan keseringan jangan terbiasa misalnya kita langsung copy tuh apa yang kita dapat dari sebuah jurnal kan. satu paragraf. Nah, itu jangan langsung kita copy. Sebenarnya kita tulis kembali agar satu paragraf itu bisa mencerminkan dari tulisan yang kita kutip dari satu paragraf itu, ya, kebiasaan. Dan memang kayak dia bilang juga ya, break your sentence in paragraph as much as possible. Karena kadang satu paragraf itu sebenarnya banyak hal yang mau kita bilang kan. Tapi ya penggunaan titik itu diusahakan lebih banyak juga, tapi dalam satu kalimat yang utuh ya, agar apa, memperkaya ya wordnya banyak lah ya. Jadi dalam satu paragraf, dan standar setahu saya yang saya pelajari juga, satu paragraf itu minimal 7 baris ya. Jadi 7 sampai 10 baris is okay ya. Normalnya itu seperti itu. Kemudian kalau baru-baru pertama nulis lebih dalam bahasa Inggris itu memang sangat disarankan untuk menggunakan jasa, apakah boleh aplikasi tools kayak Grammarly, atau kita boleh minta jasa bantuan orang untuk proofread ya, lebih-lebih kalau dalam bahasa Inggris ya. Mungkin itu ya, karena tips yang diberikan beliau memang lebih kepada sharing I think kayaknya sinyal nih beliau hilang. Lebih ke academic writing memang ya. Kalau kita mau nulis di jurnal. Kemudian, oh, you are here. Okay, we was shocked. You
No, it's fine. Actually, I had issue with the connection, so I just had to I just shut it down.
And then we, I think it's okay. And then we have from Mr. Purwono was asking how to know the journal predator. Do you know this term in English?
The predatory journal.
Yeah, I mean like predator journal, like they look like a real journal, but actually no, they do scam, you know. And sometimes
exactly. The scam aspect. The scam aspect.
Find that, like they want to know based on your experience.
Well, but my little experience, how can you identify predatory journal is one of them is unsolicited. Sometimes they will just send you a direct email from nowhere.
Okay.
It's just like me, just like a predatory journal could just go and find your email online, maybe from your previous publication, and just send you an email that we are requesting for you to come and publish. That is one aspect of it. If one is not careful, one might end up being scammed in that place, because you do not know them from anywhere. They are not even indexed in any Scopus or any other database. They are not indexed in any online database, whether Scopus, whether which other popular database do I want to mention? Which other one? Let's say Scopus for now. So if they are not indexed, one of the ways is look for what database, if they are indexed in most of the database, popular database, or if you should check who are the editors of that journal too, the editors of the journal. So you should check them. When you look at the editorial members of the editorial of the journal, then search them on Google to be sure of where they work, maybe like their university or place of work. So that's another place to be sure that, okay, these people are in order or not. And if it's a university, and if it is possible, if you are still in doubt, you can send an email to the editor of the journal directly. So you can send an email to them through their university email address. So because if they have a university email address, it's another way of identifying them. You check their email address, their university email address, and be sure that they are also a member or staff of that university by checking on the university website too.
Okay.
And if it is for a place of work, it is also the same.
Jadi memang dari pemaparan beliau cuma mau bilang kayak kalau predator itu keseringan dia langsung email ke kita. Nah, saya pun sebenarnya sering ya, karena kan ada beberapa tulisan yang udah saya kirim. Jadi mereka ya sekarang kan kalau scam lebih di digital age ya, jadi gampang banget dapat informasi. Jadi biasanya dia akan ngirim email langsung, terus setelah dia ngirim email langsung itu dia refer jurnalnya, kemudian tapi dia memang keseringan dia minta berbayar. Tapi yang lucunya ketika kita tidak respon, nanti kapan-kapan kita cek lagi email yang dia kirim itu jurnal itu hilang. Tapi nanti kadang-kadang dia muncul lagi, dan itu memang sering sekali terjadi kalau mereka udah, maksudnya kalau email kita memang udah kemana-mana atau kita udah pernah publish, itu keseringan yang mereka lakukan. Dan yang kedua, kalau untuk sebenarnya untuk jurnal predator, untuk menghindari jurnal predator, kalau saya nih ya, kurang lebih seperti yang dibilang juga tadi, refer ke university. Kalau saya sekarang kalau mau publish, terlepas Scopus tidak Scopus, yang penting sudah terindeks misalnya di apakah Google Scholar, Academy Edu kan, .edu, atau misalnya dia sudah indeks beberapa, walaupun dia bukan Scopus, itu bagusnya kita refer ke universitas. Jadi setiap universitas itu dia kan pasti biasanya kan ada list jurnalnya kalau kita buka website. Jadi sebenarnya itu lebih aman untuk menghindari jurnal predator. Atau misalnya tiba-tiba pas kita telusuri, tadi base Mr. Kazim bilang, kalau ada kita telusuri, oh ketemu jurnal. Nah, kalau kita kurang yakin, baiknya kita coba email apa yang reviewnya kayak editor. Mereka kan punya editor, punya peer reviewer, itu bisa kita email ya untuk misalnya memastikan ini benar nggak gitu. Cuman kelebihannya kalau Scopus kita kan bisa track. Kita bisa track di Scopus misalnya, kalau kita mau Scopus ya, itu kita bisa track di link Scopus untuk lihat bahwa apakah jurnal itu predator atau scam atau bukan gitu. Tapi kan persoalannya kalau yang bukan Scopus, nah ini yang sering banyak terjebak orang karena kadang-kadang kan nggak mesti Scopus ya, selama international journal dan terindeks kayak Weibo atau kayak Academy Edu kan misalnya. Kadang-kadang kita juga suka terjebak, makanya mungkin itu salah satu caranya. Mr. Kazim, oh yes, you asked his number and you can get contact from Sister Zikra. Okay, I will share later on the group. If you need, you can talk to him and maybe do some collaboration in the future. Okay, any question? Actually, we already past 6. I give one more time. Okay, if not, it's okay. If you still have any question further, you can just pass the question on the group, then I will forward to him. And you're welcome, Pak Purwono. There is link that the attendant links. Don't forget to.
I'm sorry for interruption. I can share the slide too. If anyone wants this slide, I can share the slide.
Actually, we will ask your slide because participant need that slide to prove that they attend. When for background purpose or something.
Yeah.
Okay. If there is no more question, I would like to remind you guys one more time. We don't forget to fill the attendant links. Yeah, for certificate for purpose. If you miss the attendant links, you can chat admin, the committee member. You can find on WhatsApp, then you can chat them directly. But don't forget to send them evidence, because normally some people forget to fill the attendant link. So the committee asking proof, because sometimes they already have the list of name who attends. So sometimes I don't know, maybe mix up or something like that. So don't worry. Jadi jangan lupa ya absennya. Kemudian kalau memang tiba-tiba udah keluar belum sempat absen, bukti kehadiran disimpan karena admin juga punya bukti siapa yang sudah di dalam atau siapa yang udah ikut atau enggak gitu. Jadi kadang-kadang kan ada miskomunikasi juga atau ada masalah apa kan. Jadi supaya sama-sama enak lah. Is that for today? Maybe thank you. One more. I would like to say thank you to Kazem. It's very interesting topic, and thank you for sharing. Hope to see you in the future. Even we are really far, we never know. Maybe our participant or me get chance to go to England, and we meet there. Or maybe one day you can come to Indonesia. You can meet us and or one of us and others. Please, for documentation purpose, please open all your videos, turn on your videos that we can take picture together, and admin will take our picture with full of participant.
All right.
Mrs. Zikra, maybe you can lead. Okay, you can lead.
Yeah,
Zikra, there is admin, like community, her name is Zikra, just like me, the name, okay? So don't get confused.
So are we taking a picture?
Iya, iya. Tolong yang nampak semua ya, admin ya. Karena kalau yang di laptop kita tuh kan cuma sekitar 9 orang. Biasanya di admin bisa nampak semua. Oke, tolong.
Okay.
Tolong delete Zikra ya.
Camera please. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Once more.
Does anyone already open the camera? Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Today we have almost 40 participants. Around 38, I guess, right? But there is trouble with signal. I don't know, is it like our side or your side? But it was very interesting topic. Thank you for your time. And I know it's really hard for you, in early morning. Have to move to your place, and join with us and share your thoughts, your knowledge, your information related to the importance of publishing as a librarian. Thank you, Kazim. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Selamat jalan. Right, same. Sama.
Selamat jalan. Sampai jumpa.
Jumpa lagi.
Thank you so much. Oke, kawan-kawan, nanti sertifikat itu akan diproses dulu karena mereka tetap akan cross check ya. Admin, panitia juga tetap akan cross check. Jadi mungkin akan membutuhkan waktu 2 atau 3 hari. Minggu depan insya Allah sudah dikirim ke email masing-masing. Apabila ada yang belum dapat sertifikat dan berhadir, boleh langsung chat langsung admin di grup, oke? Jadi karena kadang-kadang juga banyak nanya saya juga kan nanti akan saya forward ke mereka kan. Jadi nanti baiknya sebelum tetap stay di grup karena kita akan selalu ada, tahun depan kita akan ada dengan sesi terbaru ya. Karena tahun ini kita memang mulainya from abroad. Nanti di tahun depan kita juga akan mulai di sesi tahun 2022. Biasanya kita tetap akan share di grup, dan bagi kawan-kawan yang pasti punya masalah dengan sertifikat, mungkin ada yang belum dapat atau saya tidak tahu, mungkin ada beberapa masalah, nanti bisa langsung chat adminnya ya, bisa di chat langsung adminnya, nanti akan di cross check. Kalau memang ada kesalahan di data, nanti bisa dikasih input buktinya kalau ada. Tapi setahu saya sih biasanya siapa yang masuk tuh mereka sudah data kok. Jadi semoga tidak ada masalah ya. Baik, terima kasih sudah bergabung. Ada Mbak Anissa, Pak Ari, Pak Supri, Pak David. Tadi saya pikir orang Afrika karena namanya David Eko, itu nama orang teman-teman saya Afrika, banyak banget nama kayak begitu. Di kampus Tebra ada Bunda Alintansa, ada Pak Purwono, terima kasih Pak. Ya, ada Mbak Ita, terima kasih. Ada Mbak Nisroha Kanza. Bye semuanya. Terima kasih. Ada Mbak Anissa. Bye Mbak Anissa.